اتفضل حضرتك.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we are to move to module 4 and we are to start with reading. Number A, look at the pictures. What do you think happened to these people? Read and check your answers. And share your most embarrassing moments. Embarrassing moments. What do we mean by embarrassing? The word embarrassing means causing a feeling of distress, confusion, and self-conscious confusion. When you are confused, when you are discontent, you are feeling embarrassed. You are feeling embarrassed. Embarrassing means muhrag in Arabic, like when we say muhrag. Shades of shames mean degrees of shame. Degrees, درجات shame الخجل أو العار. What is shame? Shame is a feeling of distress caused by a foolish behavior. A feeling you get when you have done something wrong or embarrassing. When you do something wrong, something embarrassing, you feel shame. We have 3 degrees or 3 shades of shame: blushing, rose, beetroot, red, and bag over your head and hide under the table. These are 3 degrees or 3 shades of shame. What do we mean by blushing rose? What is blushing rose? Blushing rose when your face redden as form of embarrassment or shame. When your face redden, your face turns somehow red because you did something embarrassing or you feel shame of something. Beetroot red. Beetroot red when you have a red face because you are embarrassed. And this is the 2nd degree of shame. The 3rd degree is bag over your head and hide under the table. When you are extremely embarrassed and you want not to be seen by anyone, you want to hide from everyone, so this is so embarrassing for you. We describe it by this expression: bag over your head and hide under the table. So we have 3 degrees of shame. عندنا 3 درجات من الخجل. Blushing rose, this is the 1st, and the 2nd beetroot red, and the 3rd is bag over your head and hide under the table. So let's move to the text and see. The first text: I don't know why embarrassing things keep happening to me. Just the other day, I was walking down the street with my friends. I was walking down the street with my friends from college when I ran into my history professor. Here the writer describes and tells us that he was walking in the street with some of his friends and he ran into his professor, his history professor. When we say run into means meet by chance. The word run into means to meet by chance. He met his history professor in the street. I decided to say hello, so I looked at him with a big grin. The writer decided to talk to his professor, and he looked at him with a big grin, a big smile on his face, and walked towards him. He didn't seem to recognize me. At first, the teacher didn't seem to recognize the writer. So as he was walking past me, I called his name. So the writer called his name. The professor finally turned around, but had an alarmed look as if something as if something was about to go terribly wrong. The teacher looked at him with alarmed look. With alarmed look, when I say alarmed look, this means that the teacher seemed to be afraid of him. Then suddenly I felt like something had hit me in the face with a brick. Suddenly I felt like someone hit me in the face with a brick. The writer says that he felt as if he hit something. I was shocked for a moment, and then I realized I had walked into a lamppost. And the writer discovered that he bumped into a lamppost. What is a lamppost? The lamppost, it's a tall pole with a light at the top. Okay, a street light. He bumped into a street light pole. The professor tried not to laugh, but my friends burst out laughing. The professor tried not to laugh. He didn't laugh, but the writer's friends burst out laughing. They started laughing suddenly, loudly, and intensely. They started laughing loudly and intensely. بدأوا زملائه يضحكوا عليه. If I had known things would turn out this way, I would have stayed at home. The teacher here regrets what happened. I had totally made a fool of myself. The writer says that he made a fool of himself, and when we say make a fool of yourself, this means to behave in a way that makes others believe that you're silly or foolish. Beat, root, red, Robbie. Here the writer is talking about an embarrassing situation that happened to him when he met his history professor in the street, and he tried to call him, but the professor didn't recognize him, and he bumped into a lamppost in the street, and his friends started laughing at him, and he regretted what happened. So he was so embarrassed. The next passage, I thought it would be a normal school day, just like all the rest, but it sure wasn't. Here the writer says that he expected his day to be a usual day as expected, but it wasn't. I was late, so I ran all the way to school. As I sat down, I noticed a very unpleasant smell. The writer was late to school, so he ran to his school, and when he sat down in his classroom, he noticed a stinky smell, unpleasant smell, not pleasant smell. He unpleasant smell, which is stinky. رائحة غير جيدة. Soon enough, the other students went hysterical asking. The other students went hysterical asking. When we describe something as being hysterical, it cannot be controlled. But the students started asking each others about the source of this stinky smell. بدأوا الطلاب يسألوا عن مصدر الرائحة الغير جيدة. The teacher was getting annoyed. The teacher became angry because he hates interruptions. Because he hates interruptions, and the smell seemed to be getting worse. The smell kept being worse and worse. It seemed to be coming from under my desk, where my bag was. So I opened the bag, and to my horror, I was shocked to see that I realized what it was. Here, the writer discovered what this stinky smell is, which for my mom had made me a cheese sandwich, which I had forgotten all about. The writer here forgot a cheese sandwich in his bag for 7 days. The only solution was to get rid of it. His only solution, the answer to this problem, was to dispose or discard this sandwich. هو حاول يتخلص من الساندويتش ده. So as my teacher turned his back to write something on the board, while the teacher was writing in the board, I slowly took the sandwich out of my bag and making an effort not to be noticed. The writer tried not to be noticed. However, one of the boys saw me and ruined everything. One of his friends saw him and damaged his plan and spoiled his plan. هو في زميل من زملائه شافه هو واخد الساندوتش عايز يتخلص منه ودمر له الخطة. As he couldn't help telling everyone and he couldn't control himself, the writer's friend couldn't control himself and he told everyone about this stinky sandwich. Daryl's the one, he's got a smelly sandwich. He said that Daryl's got a smelly sandwich. Everyone looked at me, of course, and started laughing. They made fun of me. They made fun of me. They kept joking about me and they kept laughing at me. بدأوا يضحكوا عليه for weeks afterwards, which drove me up the wall, and this made the writer very angry. This made the writer very angry. When I say drive me up the wall, this expression means to make someone angry and to annoy him, Let's move to the next passage. I was over at a friend's house and we were having a great time. Then some of the boys started telling scary stories. The writer was at his friend's house and they were talking about scary stories. When I say scary, I mean frightening stories. As one of my friends stood in the middle of the room with the lights off telling his story, I thought it was time for me to play one of my jokes on them. The writer started to try to play a joke on them, to make a joke that tricks his friends. He wanted to make a joke that tricks his friends. So I found a torch in the kitchen and I went outside using the back door. He found a torch, and the torch is a gadget used as a source of light, لقى مصباح في المطبخ, and I went outside using the back door so that nobody would see me. My plan was to get in through the living room window. The writer decided to enter the house through the living room window, holding the torch and pretending to be a burglar, and tried to pretend to be and to behave as if he was a burglar. And do you know who is a burglar? A burglar who is a person who enters buildings and steal things. This is a burglar, but he tried to act as if he was a burglar. That I thought would definitely scare everybody. Unfortunately, as I was climbing in through the window, while he was climbing the window, he fell down and landed on a cactus. And this is the cactus. This plant, as you see, this plant is the cactus. David, one of my friends, turned on the lights. He switched on the lights and everyone went outside to see what was going on. There was a moment of silence. Then all of them were silent for a moment, and then they started laughing. They burst out laughing. بدأوا الكل صمت لبورها كده وبعدين ضحكوا عليه لما فهموا الموضوع. I just wanted the ground to open and swallow me up. He wanted the crown to swallow him up. He was so embarrassed. But then I started laughing too. ولكني بدأت أضحك معهم. Here the writer tried to play a joke on his friend, but all his plan went wrong and he failed, so they laughed at him. So let's move to the next part and see. Read the text again and write R for Ruby, J for James, or D for Daryl for the statements below. Number one, it took me a while to realize what had happened. Is it Ruby? Is it James? Is it Daryl? It took me a while to realize what had happened. Try to write your answers in the chat box. حاول تكتب الإجابات بتاعتك الناس اللي عايزة تشارك معانا في الchat box. It took me a while to realize what had happened. Who? Ruby, James, Daryl, who will answer? Number one will be Salman started answering our questions. Number one, Salman, it's R. Thank you, Salman Rawas. Number two, I was trying to get someone's attention. I was trying to get someone's attention. Who was trying to get someone's attention? Is it Ruby or James or Daryl? Which one? We have Faisal Jabarti, CJ, Ali Nahdi, CJ, Salman, Sid, I think, R, Ahmed Walid, D, then he said J. So the correct answer will be R, as Salman Rawaz said. I enjoyed what happened as much as the others. I was enjoying what happened as the others. I enjoyed what happened as much as other. Who? Which one of the writers? Salman said it's James. Salman said it's James. Who else? It will be James. Thank you. I wanted to throw something away. I wanted to throw something away. We want to dispose of the stinky sandwich. We want us to discard of it. Was it Ruby or James or Daryl? Salman said Daryl. Who else? Ahmed Walid said James. Mishal D for Daryl. Ali J. He wanted to dispose or discard, get rid of the stinky sandwich. Faisal Jabarti said it's D. Thank you. It's D. And number 5, I was annoyed by the way the others reacted. I was annoyed. I got angry because of the other reactions. The others' reactions made me get angry. It will be, Salman said D. Okay, Salman, thank you. Number 6, I was trying to do something funny. When the accident happened, I tried to play a joke. Who tried to do something funny when the accident happened, when he fell off his window? It will be Salman, J. Thank you, Salman. It will be J or James. So let's move to the next section and match the highlighted words or phrases in the text with their meanings. There are 2 extra meanings which you do not need to use. Number 1, run into. As we said, when you run into someone, you meet him without being planned, without planning. So meet, run into, as Salman Rawaz said, it will be meet by chance. Number F. Number 2, pretend. When you pretend, you try to give other you try to give other an impression, a false impression. You try to claim, you try to make believe. So it will be, as Salman said, behave as if. Behave as if. Number two, go hysterical. It's so clear. Go hysterical will be what? Faisal Jabarti said go crazy. Yatheen said go crazy. Ahmed Walid, so it will be go crazy. Go hysterical will be go crazy. Thank you all. Make an effort. When you make an effort, you attend, you try, you do what? Salman said try. Who else? Make an effort means Yasin said try. Who else? Shabab. So make an effort means to try. Can't help. Can't help means what? Can't help. This phrase means to be Yusuf Al-Ghamdi, Sid E, Yasin, Faisal, Amir Khalid, who else? Faisal Jabarti, Ahmed Walid. Thank you all. The answer can't help means not be able to control your behavior. Drive somebody up the wall. Drive somebody up the wall. When you drive somebody up the wall, you make him get what? Get angry, get what? You annoy somebody. You annoy somebody. Thank you all. So the word, the phrasal verb run into means to meet by chance. Pretend to behave as if. Go hysterical means go crazy. Make an effort means to try. Can't help means not be able to control your behavior. And drive somebody up the wall. This means to annoy somebody. To annoy somebody. So let's move to the vocabulary list and try to discover the meanings of the new words. As we said, the word alarmed means frightened. Listen, alarmed. Alarmed means frightened. Number two, annoyed. Annoyed means what? Annoyed means annoyed. Upset, upset, angry with some person or with somebody or something. When you upset with somebody or something. Also, we have burst out laughing. Burst out laughing. Burst out laughing means to start laughing suddenly and loudly. To start laughing suddenly and loudly. Also, we have can help. Can help. Also, we have can't help. What do you mean by can't help? Can't help. To be unable to resist doing something. Also, we have drive somebody up the wall. Drive somebody up the wall. This means to upset somebody or make them feel angry or feel annoyed. And to get rid of, to get rid of, to get rid of. Get rid of. Mean to stop having something, to try to discard this thing, to dispose of it. يتخلص منه. Also, the word interruption. Interruption. Something that happens in the middle of something else, stopping it temporarily. So this is a lamppost. Also, we have a lamppost. Lamppost. A long piece of metal with a light on the top. اللي هو عمود الإنارة في الشارع. Make an effort. This expressions mean make an effort. Make an effort. Make an effort to try. Make an effort. To try. Make an effort to try. Pretend. 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 To do something to make people think that something is true when it is not, to claim, to make believe, to behave as if this is means pretend. In Arabic, we call it يتظاهر. Run into, this phrasal verb means to meet some person or somebody you weren't expecting to meet. As we say in Arabic, يقابل بالصدفة, run into. Run into. A torch, as we said, a torch, an electric light with you to help you see when it's dark. It's a gadget used as a source of light when it's dark. Unpleasant. Unpleasant. What do you mean by unpleasant? Unpleasant, not pleasant or comfortable, stinky. It's not good. So let's again move to the next section and vocabulary. Expression with most and least. Expressions with most and least. I thought the book would be nice, but it wasn't in the least interesting. Children should drink at least 2 glasses of milk per day. I want to thank my friends Ali, Saif, Amir, and last but not least, Hamza for all their support. Nobody believed his history, least of all the police. It's an awful restaurant. The food is tasteless, to say the least. I plan to make the most of my holiday and spend my time relaxing. You will stay in Dubai for 10 days at most. The thing I liked most of all about the book was the second chapter. So let's try to discuss the meanings of each expression of these. The first expression, in the least. In the least means in the lowest or smallest degree of importance. In the least means in the lowest or smallest degree of importance. Number 2, at least. At least means not less than or at the minimum. At least means at the minimum or not less than. Last but not least means actually or especially not. Actually or especially not. The fourth, least of all. Least of all means when we use this expression, we suggest that the situation is much more serious and worse than you say. You don't say everything about this bad situation. The fifth expression, to say the least, to say the least, we said that to suggest that the situation is much more serious than you say. The next, make the most of. This expression means you get the maximum advantage or benefit from something. You use it as much as possible. You make the most benefit of it. And at most means not more than. The last expression, most of all, means indicates that something happens or is true to a greater extent than anything else. It's more important than anything else. So number 1, let's try to see and discover the answers together. Number 1, in the least. I thought the book wouldn't be nice, but it wasn't in the least interesting. What do we mean by in the least? Yusuf Al-Ghamdi said A, Salman Rawas, who else? In the least means at all. So in the least means at all. Children should drink at least 2 glasses of milk per day. At least means what at least? At least means the minimum means what? Who will answer? Ali Nahdi said not less than. Who else? Faisal Jabarti, Amir Khalid, Yusuf Al-Ghamdi. So it will be D, as you said. I want to thank my friends Ali, Saif, Amir, and last but not least, when you mention, when you put something in order of mention, last in order of mention, but not of importance. So last but not least means as important as of the rest, as you said. Thank you. Nobody believed his history. Least of all the police. Least of all means, huh? Least of all, who will answer, huh? Least of all, huh? في يوسف الغامدي, Salman, Sitsi, huh? Thank you. It's an awful restaurant. It's an awful restaurant. The food is tasteless to say the least. And I don't want to say everything. So to say the least means, huh? To say the least, it will be G, not say everything. I plan to make the most of my holiday, make the best use of it. I want to benefit from it as much as I can. So make the most of means, huh? To get the maximum
أيوة مصطفى
advantage from
سامعني؟
we will stay in Dubai for 10 days at most. At most means, huh? At most means, huh? And not more than. And the last item, the thing I liked most of all about the book was the second chapter. Was the second chapter. Most of all here means, huh? Most of all means more than anything else. And اللي عنده استفسار يا شباب يقدر يكتب في الشات روم. احنا وصلنا لنهاية الحصة النهاردة، إن شاء الله نكمل الأربعاء القادم. If you have any question, please ask. اللي عنده استفسار. Thank you for today. Now I will leave you, and inshallah next Wednesday we will meet again. Thank you all.